Hello, it's still the AM show. Thank you so much for holding on and staying with us. It's now time to have that conversation about the graphic business Stanbic breakfast meeting. And I've got Kojo Labi. He is Manager Communications, Stanbic Bank. And there's Charles Benoni Okain, Acting Editor of Graphic Business. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. And it's good to have you here once again. The last time I hosted you, it was about the same meeting, which was focusing on the subject of unemployment. Mr. Labi is looking at me that way for a reason, but tell us the fallout from that engagement. What were the solutions? Because it was a solution-oriented meeting. What were the solutions that came up?
Ideally, for graphic business, we always want to set the business agenda. Unemployment has been a talk that on everybody's lips because of the magnitude of the problem. So we assembled the experts to share some ideas. I knew some of the ideas that they shared were things that were known already, but they use our platform to re-emphasize it. And one of the key, or the two key sectors that came up were the agri sector and the industrial sector. That if government pays a lot more attention to it, then there will be some, I've heard the government talk about, some reforms for, the planting for food and jobs. It's been implemented over time. It is time to review it and see, it is not to scrap it. It's a very perfect thing, but to review it and then see what gaps, which areas can be fixed, so that the monies that go in there, we can see the tangibles, the realities to create the employment opportunities for our youth.
Right, let me come to you, Mr. Labi. So after unemployment, what's the next issue the meeting wants to discuss?
Well, I thank you very much. Just before going into the studio, I heard your colleague discussing a very interesting topic, which dovetails into exactly what we are talking about. Our theme for this time is, this edition is living within our means, an imperative for economic success. I guess it's self-explanatory. The last time I checked, if your salary is $100,000, and you do things within the $100,000, most things will be comfortable for you.
I like the sound of that.
Yes.
$100,000.
I knew you would prefer $100,000.
I like the sound of that.
The Bank of Ghana will forgive me for doing that. So I guess what we're trying to say is that over the last 3 months or so, the discussion in Ghana have all centered around either our debt stock, spending pattern, or how practical some of our decisions have been. So this time, I think we're trying to go along those lines and have a conversation about what we need to do. I don't think we don't know what the answers are, but maybe the focus is this time what we want to look at.
So once again, the big question is what we hope to achieve with this. So I've seen a list of very qualified people to speak on this. Permit me to ask why there's no government rep. Just permit me. I mean, I can see Venture Capital Trust Fund, Director of Research, IEA, CEO Redmond Resources Limited. Is it the nature of the conversation? You're looking for solutions, and so you just want government to do the listening and not the talking. Is that it?
Yeah, this whole thing is premised on, as a prelude to the 2023 budget. The government opens up to the public to make an input into the budget. Like I said, we setting the business agenda has created this platform to assemble these key speakers, to share some ideas that, government will listen and, factor it into the 2023 budget. That's why we assembled not somebody or people from the political side.
To do the normal rhetoric,
yes,
yeah.
Yes. You want to give them some input. So they have to sit back and listen. At a proper time, we can bring them to tell us, what the impact has been so far. So we shared, if you don't mind, I can share some of the perspectives you are looking at this time.
Please go ahead.
The first one is discipline to live within our means as a country and implications for external borrowing, the drawbacks and the way forward. This topic is going to be tackled by Dr. John Kwachi of the IEA. He's a very knowledgeable person. He always predicts and advises before government comes up with any policy. That's why we brought him. Now, we also want to look at industry. They are the ones who always call for tax reduction, and they have a reason for pushing their agenda. So we also want to bring them on board to tell us a few things about what they expect. So Dr. What do you call it? I've forgotten this.
Humphrey?
Dr. Humphrey Ayim Dake will speak on achieving self-sufficiency, role of the private sector. And then for the real sectors, we are looking at sustained growth by financing the real sectors while cushioning the vulnerable. And we are looking at Hamdia Ismaila from the Venture Capital Fund, who will speak to that topic. So these are three main areas where we feel that when we make an input, it will help in finding solutions to our dire situation we find ourselves in. We just seen what Standard & Poor's has done to us. It's a very dire situation, and I think we need to rally around the flag, and then we all find solutions to the country's problems.
I must say, this is a timely conversation. So where are we having it, and how can our viewers be part of it?
Labaide Beach Hotel on Wednesday, August 10, from 8 o'clock. 10, we are done.
Okay, so it will be live here on the Joy News channel. If you're wondering, if you don't live anywhere close, or if you're not invited and you're wondering how you can be part of it, it will be live here on this channel from 8 to 10 a.m. And it's also open for input. I think that the bit on interactivity has been heightened a bit, right? The last time I saw that. Yeah. So just let us know how we can be part.
You can join on the graphic social handle. And then the same with the Stanbic handle. Okay. And I guess for those who are tuning in to Joy, you are on with us.
Yes.
You got to be part of it.
Yes.
You ask why government is not on board us in the panel. It's not deliberate us in ignoring government. But the idea is that they do it. You want to influence policy. The guy coming to influence policy is not the one who needs to talk. There are particular conversations that we may have that would involve government. The last three or so, I remember there was a minister on the panel, but this is a bit different. That's how it comes. So we are not ignoring government, but we want them to hear what those who want to influence policy want to do. That's why.
And just to add to that, this is something we're going to present the findings to the government to help with the 2023 budget preparation. So we urge all those who will be watching, if they have some ideas, they can send it to us through the social media handles, and we'll incorporate them into the outcome.
So you include that in your comment section. I've been speaking to Kojo Labi. He's manager of communications at Stanbic Bank, and Charles Benoni Okine. He's acting editor of Graphic Business, and it's about this Wednesday's edition of the Graphic Business Stanbic Breakfast Meeting, and it's focusing on living within our means as a country. It's one you don't want to miss, and it will be live here on the Joy News channel. Well, moving on, our investigations have uncovered how politically connected individuals in a smuggling cartel in the Central and Volta regions hoard and resell premixed fuel to fishermen at exorbitant prices. Premixed fuel is supposed to be sold to fishermen a little over 7 cedis per litre, but it's been sold at 20 cedis for a litre. 3 years ago, Vice President Dr. Bawumia promised to digitize the distribution of government-subsidized premixed fuel to rid the supply chain of middlemen who mostly hoard the product and sell it at exorbitant prices to fishermen. Well, our investigations show that politicization of the newly constituted premix committee is compounding the plight of fisher folk at the country's London beaches. Watch this.